friends, welcome to another video. We're switching it up today and we are just going to do a solely workout focused video. I know I haven't done one of these in a while, but you guys always seem to love them, so I apologize for them going MIA, but we back and we're doing a booty building basics workout. So basically the premise of this video is I am going to go through some essential movements for growing the peach, and also I'm going to break down how to execute these movements with good form, safe form, and maximal glute contraction, which is key. So the first exercise that I have in here are hip thrusts, and if someone tells you that they have the ultimate glute building workout, hip thrusts better be in there, because hip thrusts have been proven to have the highest EMG activity, and that means muscle stimulation out of any lower body movement that you can load like this. So a barbell hip thrust is a staple in any booty building workout program, anything like that. So you'll always see them in my programs. I prefer to do them actually on a Smith machine. I just feel like I get the best contraction, and that's probably because I don't have to use as many stabilizing muscles, and typically I'm a huge fan of compound movements for that fact that they do use a lot of stabilizing muscles. But when I'm just trying to hammer my glute muscles, I want to focus in on my booty cheeks as much as possible. So I really prefer a Smith machine. This is not quite a Smith machine because, as you can see, the bar can travel laterally as well, but you know, gotta make do with what you have. This is my apartment gym, so no complaints because it's a pretty nice gym, but I just wish that it had a Smith machine. Anyway, as you can see, I am doing the hip thrust. I'm loading up increasing weight. I'll explain it in a little bit, but this entire workout is based on a pyramid rep scheme. So you see that I'm adding weight and decreasing reps as we go on. Now, as far as hip thrust form itself, you can see that my knees form a 90-degree angle at full hip extension. So when my hips are all the way toward the ceiling, you see that my glutes are tucked under as I thrust. And you can also see that when I go down, they are stretching at the bottom. Another really important thing to note here is that I have a really sexy double chin going on, and that is because you want to tuck your chin and kind of round your upper back. This is A, going to keep your neck safe, and B, it's also going to increase glute contraction. So that is something I learned from Brett Contreras. If you guys are interested in a full breakdown of the hip thrust, like very in-depth, from the glute guy himself, Brett Contreras, that is on my channel too. I will link that in the description box. I highly recommend that, whether you're a hip thrusting veteran or have no idea what a hip thrust even is. That is a great place to get started or tune up your knowledge. I promise you will not regret that video. Next exercise are these walking lunges. It is the same rep scheme that I was doing with the hip thrust. So every exercise in this workout is a pyramid, which means I start with 20 reps at a lighter weight. Then I increase the weight a little bit, go to 15 reps, increase the weight a little bit, go to 12 reps, increase the weight, go to 10 reps, and increase the weight one more time for 8 reps. So 20, 15, 12, 10, 8, 5 sets, increasing weight, decreasing reps. So doing that with lunges, I started pretty light and did 20 steps. Then I increased the weight, did a total of, I think I did like 16 steps, because obviously 15 is a odd number and you want to do everything evenly. That is the rep scheme for this entire workout. Now for lunges where you want to hit the glutes and hamstrings, you're going to want to take a longer stride, and that's going to A, enable you to load that front leg better, and B, place more tension on your glutes and hamstrings, aka the posterior part of your leg instead of your quads, which is the front of your leg. If you want to hit your quads, take shorter strides. If you want to hit your glutes, take longer strides. Now I also personally find it very helpful to lean forward a little bit. That just further helps your glutes stretch during each stride, but that's kind of something that is individual and you may need to play around with to figure out for yourself. Next up, same exact rep scheme, that pyramid rep scheme that we are loving. I was dripping sweat at this point, by the way. Don't let the simplicity of this workout fool you, because it all depends on the intensity that you can bring. If you are pushing yourself and if you are truly feeling a great contraction in your glutes, this is going to rock your world. Okay, so this is 20 reps of a stiff-legged deadlift, a Romanian deadlift, if you will. And what you are doing is totally hinging at the hips. You want a very soft bend in the knee, but this movement is almost entirely hip dominant. So you want to hinge by sitting back through the glutes and then stand up, not by pulling on your back, but by thrusting your hips forward. Think of your upper body and your lower body as like a lever, and your glutes are what push them apart, if that makes sense. Another cue that I really like is thinking about contracting your glutes before you even stand up. Now, that first set was kind of quick because the weights were really light, so I was just trying to power through it. But this one you can see a little better. I pause at the bottom, flex the glute, and stand back up using the glute. Again, this is a little bit better of a view, but you should initiate the movement by pushing your hips back, feeling a really nice stretch in the glutes and hamstrings, and then standing up by squeezing the glutes. For all of these movements, pretty much, your weight should predominantly be in your heel and midfoot. You should be able to essentially wiggle your toes throughout the entire movement, and that is also going to help with glute contraction. Whether you're doing a leg press, a squat, a deadlift, whatever it might be, your weight should be back in your heel and midfoot. I don't want to say entirely in your heel because that's kind of messing with your balance, but heel and midfoot is fine. Toes is a no-go when you're trying to hit the glutes, and just for overall safety, I would definitely avoid pressing off with your toes when you're lifting weights. So as you can see, another thing to note is that my head is staying perfectly in line with my back. That is called maintaining a neutral spine. That is also super important for safety. Keeping your head and neck neutral is going to prevent injury. And last but not least, you want to make sure that your upper and lower back are both staying tight. You can see my back isn't rounding anywhere. My back is not rounding at all. Everything is staying tight. When I bend over, you're not seeing my shoulder blades round. You're not seeing my lower back round. Everything should be super tight and locked in during the entire range of motion. So those three movements, the hip thrust, the walking lunge, and the stiff leg deadlift, are a really, really great like trifecta of booty building. These three are my go-tos. I do have another video of like essential glute building movements as well, and I can link that in the description box for you guys too. There's so many different movements that you can choose from, but in this day and age, you see so many crazy concoctions on Instagram that are just kind of excessive, I guess. And this video, I just really wanted to go back to basics, teach you how to do the most important movements really well and get the most out of them, because I think mastering these is going to make the biggest difference in your physique versus trying to use those crazy concoctions you're seeing on Instagram. I know they're flashy, I know it's fun to mix it up, but these should be the foundation. This is your bread and butter. So after these three movements, remember I'm doing 5 sets of each, so I've already done 15 working sets. That is plenty of volume if you're getting great contraction and you're really feeling the burn. I was dying by this point, so I moved on to 2 different finishers that I've been loving. The first one is a dumbbell glute bridge. So glute bridge is on the floor, where your back's on the floor, whereas a hip thrust, you are elevated on a bench. These are kind of like glute bridge pumps. You notice that I got up to get something to support my head, because that again helps with contracting your glutes and keeping everything in a safe position. Same concept as the hip thrust and like tucking your neck there. I know it's awkward, I know it's weird. You might want to find a corner in the gym. Again, you're gonna have a really sexy double chin, but you want to basically rapid fire contract your glutes. At the top, you should be contracting hard, again keeping a lot of your weight in your midfoot and heel, and you should have this really cute pain face going, because by this point of the workout, you are dying, girlfriend. You are dying. So I can't remember, I think it was 100 reps in a row of this, or it was 50. Maybe I did 2 sets 50, but basically you want to go ahead and do these until your glutes are on fire and you can't do anymore. Mine were cramping by the end. So these finishers at the end of your workout, they start off deceptively easy, but the metabolic stress placed on the glutes when you're doing these high volume exercises is killer, and you will feel the burn by the end. I can promise you that. So for this next exercise, I always like to include some sort of abduction in my glute workouts, and I prefer to use like a hip abduction machine so I can load a little bit more weight, but we don't have one of those at my apartment gym, so I decided to just do some Bandit Abductions. This is another great finisher. I'm pointing to my outer glutes because that is where this works. So the first part of this burnout is 20 reps leaning forward, and then you're going to move on to 20 reps sitting straight up, and then you move on to 20 reps leaning back. And again, the reason why you want to add these high rep finishers is because it puts a lot of metabolic stress on the muscle, but you won't get as much muscle damage that's going to leave you sore. So you can do these kind of finishers or banded work a lot more frequently than you can do like high intensity heavy lifting. The glute muscles are highly composed of slow twitch muscles, which means those are the endurance muscle fibers, and they respond really well to these lightweight kind of pump movements like I've been talking to you guys about. So don't be afraid to add some of these in. Now, I wouldn't say that these are going to be, again, your bread and butter, but they are a great accessory. Again, doing these alone isn't going to be enough to significantly build your glutes, but they are great to add, and they're going to make sure that you are squeezing every last ounce of glute gains out of your workouts. So that is actually going to wrap up this workout. Again, it was deceptively simple, but actually really killer. So go ahead and give it a try. Let me know how it goes. If you want an entirely free week of my favorite workouts, just go to mariewold.com/free guide, and I will send you an entire week of my favorite workouts. I'll leave that in the description box as well. Here's the final booty pump. Feeling good, dripping sweat. It was a good one, you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Oh, and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. That just lets me know that you are enjoying this content and helps me figure out what I should film again soon. Thank you so much for watching. I love you guys, and I will talk to you later.